Welcome back to Tea and Toys. This time we've got the most recent box set from Hasbro's Kenner Retro Star Wars collection. And it's the Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So this is a 2-movie box. So I'm guessing, did we run out of characters for them to do their own boxes? Or are we running out of interest in this line? Well, that's a topic for another day maybe. So first up, we have Padme Ameldala. All what we expect from Kenner style figures. 5 parts of articulation, usually. A accessory, and this time we get the little laser gun or blaster pistol, and a nice fabric cape, reminiscent of the old days. It's looking quite cool. So let's get with other release from the episode 1 box, Queen Amidala. Very interesting. That's it there, and then Mace Windu. Probably one of the most overrated characters in Star Wars, in my humble opinion. I don't rate him very much. Don't think he's a very good character. I think he's boring. But, much like all the others. And we're not getting a blue lightsaber. We're not getting a green lightsaber. We're having the purple one, because that's what he demanded. Mace Windu. Nice fabric. Nice cape, though. Nice cape. That's really, really well done, actually. And probably my favourite of the 6, Jango Fett. Now, I do think that Mandalorians or Mandalorian-styled characters have been massively overused. Hugely overused. So, yeah. Again, another issues I have with Dave Filoni. Again, I don't love Episode 1, 2, and 3. I don't love them. I think they're rife with, well, crap story plots, bad acting. And I do think, in my opinion, I think it diluted the original trilogy. But there we go. I know they're not perfect either, but these ones didn't help. And then the next ones, well, they really didn't help. But anyway, Jango Fett. Reminiscent of all the other Mandalorian type characters, 2 laser blast pistols, and his head isn't removable, so you can't do the action feature. And in my humble opinion, I actually think he's probably the weakest in the set. And it's the Mark II Clone Trooper. Again, usual articulation, the 5 parts. I haven't moved his legs yet. So that nice little fresh click sound there. And blaster pistol. And this one, his head moves, unlike the OG, Mr. Stormtrooper himself, whose head didn't move until you got the Luke Skywalker version, if you ever found that. But yeah, probably the weakest one. I think this box set should have had, well, this should have been Count Dooku. Or at least put Count Dooku this side, and then you can move Mace Windu over here. It doesn't matter where Mace Windu goes, because he was in episode 2 and 3. So it doesn't matter. But I just do think that Count Dooku, who's now the missing main Sith Lord, out of this retro collection, that we don't have, and probably won't get, because I don't see them doing any more. There's been no updates. Only the Acolyte box has been announced, and, well, we know that series was a bit crap, wasn't it? Next up, Anakin Skywalker in the Revenge of the Sith. So he's had his arm chopped off already. He's got his blue lightsaber. All the same usual parts of articulation as we'd expect from a Kenner-styled figure. So let's get him with the other Anakins from the retro collection. Here they are. The original, well, the re-release of the original Darth Vader and the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Oh, I'm knocking over General Grievous over there. Which is actually an improvement on the original Darth Vader. So there's our Anakins that we've had. They didn't do the little boy one, and they didn't do Padawan Anakin. They did the Obi-Wan Kenobis, but they didn't do Anakin. So there he is. With that better lightsaber as well, like the original ones, which, as I said, this is an okay design for, the 70s, the 80s, but really didn't work. And then, last but no means least, General Grievous. Now, a lot of people didn't like the fact that Hasbro were doing this with the articulation, but if we're going to think that these are reminiscent of 1980s like toys, I actually do think that yes, he probably would have had this articulation where he can't move his arms forward like everybody else. I think they would have done this, but what I think they should have done, and I think that they would have done back in the day, because of his little gimmicky thing, I think they would have actually given him a waist swivel. So you can do like a spinny thing for kids to do. So I do think that was a missed opportunity there. I think they could have added in waist swivel. because it already breaks the 5 parts of articulation with the additional half arms there. But that's General Grievous. I think it's quite cool they did do that. You know, obviously these are bare bones basic figures, probably still too expensive for what they are. I do understand they've got to be designed, they've got to be engineered, they've got to be made, they've got to have prototypes, they've got to have Mark 1s, Mark 2s of things, but I do think they are just a little bit overpriced. And looking at that Acolyte box set, which I was originally going to get, but I kind of want the Jedis from it, even though the series was trash. I kind of want the Jedis. Like the girl characters in that box set, not because they're girls and not because of anything else, but they were trash characters and they just don't look very good in the toy. But there we go. The Jedi just look cooler. So there we are. That is the 6, with I think the Mark II Clone Trooper being the weakest. My favourite is probably Jango. Don't mind Mace Windu being a Jedi character. I just don't love the character of Mace Windu personally. I think he should have had his arse handed to him by the Emperor, but there we go. And let's have another quick, one last little comparison with all the other Mandalorian-esque characters with Jango here. So we've got our Mark 1 Mandalorian, Mark 2 Mandalorian, a OG Boba Fett with his pops. Again, didn't like that. And we've got, oh damn it, I don't remember their names now. Bird from Rebels. And then we've got Starbuck from the new Battlestar Galactica. Baggy trousers, Boba Fett. I can't remember her name. God damn it. So I watched all that series. Again, I've got issues with all this series. Again, she didn't need to be Jedi-esque like she is now. I don't know what they're doing there. The Armourer. So we've got quite a little force of Mandalorian-esque or Mandalorian-styled characters here. And let's move those guys out of the way. And to be fair, they actually look quite cool together as like a little Mandalorian army. If that's what you want, they don't have to be the chosen characters, which they are. They could just be generic Mandalorians on your shelf if you wish. Bo-Katan. I will remember your name, and it'll be after the video. So yeah, that is that box set. The next one being the Acolyte one with no other announcements of true retro box representations. I do want the R5 D4. I want that reissued. I kind of want them to finish off, at least finish off Star Wars A New Hope. At least do those original toys. But there we go. So no Count Dooku in that box set. What do you guys think? Do you want to pick up this set, or are you done with it? Are you had enough of this retro crap? And Hasbro, stop it now. You're losing too much money on a Star Wars product as it is. Well, somebody said that I hadn't done this for a long time. Haven't gone through the Star Wars retro collection and see where the hell Hasbro are with the original lineup. Now, doing the calculations and counting up between original Star Wars characters and figures that have been reissued with the retro collection versus the new stuff, which I'm not against them doing new retro collection stuff, but we are now at a point where they have done more new things than they have re-released original Star Wars characters from the original 70s and 80s lineup. So let's just go through to see where we are. So yep, most of Star Wars has been done with the Wave 1 release and the box set 1 with box set 2, leaving us with basically just the aliens and the droids left over that they haven't done from Star Wars A New Hope. So it's unfortunate, and I have put Boba Fett there because he was first released on a Star Wars card. I did have to double check that, so that's why he's been moved into here. And then from The Empire Strikes Back, again we get a lot, well again, it's kind of half Bespin, half Hoth. So I was going to say we've done all the Hoth, but that's not true because that is clearly Bespin Luke, and below him is I think that's Hoth Luke, I think. And then yeah, and so nobody from these sections here, not at all. So no, actually no, that here, that is the Luke, isn't it? Ah, god damn, they look so similar, the Soldier and the Luke. So yeah, no limbs C-3PO. No, is that the Astroscope R2-D2? And then we get the Empire Strikes Back. No Imperials. I think there's no baddies here. No baddies, no Imperials at all from the Empire Strikes Back, except for all the bounty hunters, which is good. I'm glad that we got all the bounty hunters. Shenanigans had to be released through Amazon. They could have all been in one box set together. They could have put Greedo in there because Boba Fett had already been released, but that's by the by. And then from Return of the Jedi, we've actually had 2 drops of Return of the Jedi, which was quite good. So we've got the Jedi Knight Luke, Jabba's Palace Leia, Endor Han, Jabba's Palace Lando, the Emperor, and the Scout Trooper. And then when it comes to other characters, when the box set they released, only 5 of those toys out of the 6 were original Return of the Jedi, Power of the Force, and the new Mon Mothma. So we don't get many at all. Most of the Jabba's Palace stuff, with the exclusion of, this is when the aliens and the baddies of the Gamorrean Guard. Thank God we got the Crimson Imperial Guard, but only 1 Ewok out of the 6 Return of the Jedi carded ones. Then we go to Power of the Force. Now, obviously, these were the last 15 way back when, so sought after figures still, even in today's market. But we've only had 1, and to be fair, that was Yak Face, so a pretty good one that they did. But we only had 1 out of all these last 15 figures, which is a shame. And then we get on to, and I've said I do want them to do a line of these. And they did a 6-inch fully articulated version. They did the 3 3/4 inch sort of more Star Wars vintage style of droids, C-3PO, R2-D2, and Boba Fett in the original droids Boba Fett colours. But they literally have an R2-D2 mould ready, a C-3PO ready, and we've had the Boba Fett like 3 or 4 times already. So why they haven't done the droids version for the retro collection, I don't know. There's no excuse for at least those 3 figures to have been done. I would like to see the rest. Same with the Ewoks and any unproduced. See, these guys, this line is begging for some of these characters to be done. Maybe not all of them can be done. I do think the retro collection is on its way out. I don't think we're going to get much more. Maybe another range, and it'll probably be, what was it, that Jude Law series? Not original toys, basically. But it's a shame. I think droids and Ewoks would be a great thing to do. And then we get on to sort of the stuff they have done. So the Wave 1 exclusive being Moff Tarkin, and then Snowspeeder Luke Skywalker. Just call it a Snowspeeder Trooper. It looks nothing like Luke Skywalker. Oh, he's got a lightsaber. And slightly dirty Stormtrooper, being a Remnant Trooper. And Mon Mothma. Yeah, no, she's welcome. She's a welcome addition. Then we get like the first wave of the Mandalorian, the second wave of the Mandalorian, the Obi-Wan wave, the Book of Boba Fett wave. Again, the most shenanigans wave so far, because we've got the repaint of the Tusken Raider, a reissue but with a lightsaber, the Mandalorian, and black-caped Jedi Master Luke, and Grogu with a backpack. So only really 4 new figures were released in that wave. So the other 4 were, I'd say, shenanigans. They were shenanigans ones. I probably should have put the Tusken Raider on the bottom because he was a repaint. And then we got the Ahsoka wave. Old grey-haired lady came with nothing. Very pointless. I don't know why they did her in this set. This should have been Grand Moff Tarkin. They should have put him in there instead of her. But I guess they're trying to push for something there. And then we get the Episode 1 wave, which I actually thought was a really good wave. And then we got, so not wave, box set. And then we got the Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith box set, which I do think I would have preferred Count Dooku instead of the Clone Trooper. Everybody else I'm fine with, but the Clone Trooper I can live without and have Count Dooku in there instead. And then from there we got the the Acolyte box. So yeah, not a strong wave at all. Really poor. Like, where's the Sith Lord dude in there? I know there was a baddie in the series. I didn't watch it. Don't care for it. But again, so many more interesting designs from what I've seen. The show might be trash, but from what I've seen, design-wise, this set could have been 10 times better. So what's our breakdown? What is our breakdown? We've had 13, which includes the Blue Snaggletooth out of the 22 original Star Wars carded, plus the Cantina set. We've only had 13 of them. And we've only had 10 Empire Strikes Back. We've only had 10 Return of the Jedi. We've only had 1 Power of the Force. We've had 3 new characters from the original trilogies. Again, I'm happy with that. Although the Luke Skywalker Snowspeeder one was kind of lazy. So the other two were quite cool. 0 Ewoks, 0 droids, and then it goes to new pieces. So we've only had 6 things from episode 1, 3 from 2, and 3 from 3. And a whopping 14 from The Mandalorian. A full set of Kenobi. An extra big set for Book of Boba Fett, although half of that's shenanigans repaints. And some extras with the Ahsoka wave. And then, actually I think the extra is another Ahsoka. And then we get the 6 Acolytes. So unfortunately we are way too many new toys in the retro wave. And not enough retro representation from the original classics toy lines. And yes, I'll go on about it. I do include the droids and the Ewoks in that. I want to see those if it happens. But I suspect, because they often talk about the Black Series and the Vintage Series, and the Retro Collection is very much often left behind. So I don't think that outside the Acolyte we're going to get any more. Because they're going to go, oh, due to lack of sales, which will be absolute, let's just say the word, bullshit from Hasbro, because they actually haven't tried to do more of the stuff that people actually want to buy and actually make sales. Because when the first couple of waves of Star Wars Empire Strikes Back stuff came out, people hot for them. They weren't overpriced. They were about $9.99 or $10.99 UK pounds, which was kind of acceptable pricing. That was fine. It probably should have been a $5, but that was good pricing. And now they've got pushed them up to like £15 a pop, which is way too expensive. But that was the Kenobi stuff, the Mandalorian stuff, and let's face it, half the characters and figures, people, except for me, I want to get them all. Some people aren't going to be bothered. They're just like, no, I just want the Mandalorian dude. And then there's about 15 versions of him, all of them kind of looking the same, but slightly different accessories. But that's by the by. I actually do think the Retro Collection is on its way out. But for those of you that will hold on a lot more than I do, who do you think's coming next? And what do you want next from this series? Don't forget to love, like, subscribe, and see you guys and girls in the next one.